Following podcast may be explicit. One Joe Young presents Adventures from the Shed, a tabletop RPG podcast. You can find us online at adventuresfromtheshed.com. And here we are now, Adventures from the Shed online, coming to you because you are listening and for no other reason. So we're going to get back into our dungeon world adventure. I think we're going to continue to call this Smoky Top. We're going to put that in the name of the episodes as we move forward. And I'll let Randy do a little air drum there. We have with us tonight our full Adventures from the Shed cast, and we're going to go around and say hi based on the order I see on the screen. So Eli, you better stop chewing soon. Zeb, you go first.
Hey, I'm Zeb. I'm playing Duke, the thief. I'm a rascal. That's pretty much it.
Rascal.
Hello, everybody. It's Eli here.
Hi, Eli.
Welcome back, Eli.
Thank you. I feel welcome. I'm playing Jays, the human fighter. He is a soft boy, and he will remain so. And if one of you hurts him, I swear to God.
Jays, the meek and mild.
Speaking of people who hurt easily, I'm Dorothy Pat Becca. I'm an elf wizard. And has anyone seen the Potter? Potter? No?
Potter.
Pot. Hey, this is Chris. I'm playing Manfred Blackwell, Paladin. The Paladin.
Nice. I am Joe. I am the game master for this game. We are going to talk about what we did in our first session by way of recap, and that's going to be done by Randy.
All right, so we take you to a typical inn or bar or, your typical scenario. And I see three crimson robes gathered at a table, and I recognize him, and it's Fred. He is one of the Crimson Order, and apparently my character was not supposed to be invited to this little meeting, but one of them invited my character anyway, and Manfred got the information out. Turns out that there is a necromancer named Thomas that used to be part of the Crimson Order that is now trying to control a volcano, and he's also killed and slaughtered a village of goblins, and they are now his army. So we decide the next morning to journey up to the volcano. It took a day to go and travel that far to get to the base of the village. Saw that the goblins and empty bodies, just clothes of the Crimson Order that showed up over there, even though they weren't supposed to be there, were drained of all their blood and or I guess burned to a crisp, minus the robes if you're the Crimson Order. And it turns out that it was this machine that was flying in the air, just a big ball with a blade on it. So Manfred did his work, and then Patty finished it off with a nice big blast. And then we went to a house and found a living noodle.
Living noodle, the pool noodle familiar.
And then we turned around to head towards the mountain and got attacked by the end of the episode.
The only thing I would add to that is when you mentioned Thomas, it's important to notice that he was a previous head of the Crimson Order, not just part of it, because it emphasizes that he is powerful.
Sure. Because
those wusses you met in the bar don't even want to go tackle him, right?
Exactly.
It's just important to know that he was the head dude. So from there, one of the other things that we had seen right at the end was when you got to Village Central in the Goblin tribal village, you did see a statue that seemed to be completely unblemished of a Goblin hero, and translating from Goblin to common from the inscription on it essentially was, he beat up everybody, he's our leader now. So it was like the first Goblin chieftain. That's his statue. That's what it symbolizes. So after you saw that and figured the pool noodle familiar thing out, that thing is going to hang out with Pat for now. So it's going to hang out with the magic dude, in this case our wizard. But as you continue approaching, and Randy, I'll kind of leave it up to you. I know Randy was just stepping away for a moment, so I'm not going to tell him what I'm leaving up to him right now. But he'll be able to decide a lot of the stuff with the familiar. Anyway, the rest of you approaching the volcano, right before you reach the entrance to the volcano, you actually find one of the goblin buildings still intact. And this is one of the buildings that has like a wooden structure with animal skins draped across the wooden frame. You cannot see inside, it's all closed up, but it is completely intact. So this would be Duke and Manfred at this time. Maybe Pat's playing around with his noodle.
Quit playing with your dinghy.
He's a little distracted, perhaps.
Yeah.
I'll put my hand up. Hoe the building.
What?
Are there any windows to this building?
No.
Nope.
I mean, yes, but they are windows that have the animal skin draped over them now. So everything is closed up, so to speak. Even the doorway isn't a door. It's just an animal skin that needs to be moved aside to enter.
Who's out there? I can't
Come
reach
on.
the door.
You can't read. All right, we're coming in.
All right, we bust the door down if there was one.
I think it's just
You push
animal
aside
cloth.
the curtain.
Yeah, you push the curtains aside, Duke, and I'll run in.
Yeah.
Right. Yeah.
When you open it, you see Eli. Go ahead and let's talk a little bit about your character. So describe what they see, and for that matter, like you had said, I think it was Pat's character that you had a bond with. Was it, or was it Randy's, or was it Zeb's? I can't remember.
I had one for Manfred and one for Duke.
Okay, so we're establishing, Chris, just so you know, because you weren't on there right before we started.
Yeah.
But Eli's character does know a couple of you guys, so you're going to recognize him when this happens.
Perfect, because I was going to use another bond for Eli's character too.
Cool. So yeah, sorry for the interruption, Eli, but yeah, go ahead and describe
it's
your
all
stuff.
good. That's the perfect time to put that in, because Duke probably wouldn't recognize Jays,
So Duke
just because of the nature.
He's the pie stealer.
Yeah, just because of the nature of
Okay.
the bond. But Manfred would know Jays,
Cool.
would recognize him, because one of Jay's singular goals in life is to make Manfred not be so managed. He's
No
mean.
boss, so bossy.
The fighter bond in the Dungeon World character sheet is so and so is soft, but I will make them hard like me.
Mhm.
So I've swapped it. Manfred is hard, so I will make him soft like me.
You need him to be a little more compassionate, is what you're saying.
He's just, come on,
I
man.
don't
Why you gonna be so
know.
Yeah.
So, Chris, do you want to share the bond you had?
Yeah. I don't know if this is going to make sense, but I like it. It might even be better now because you're a soft boy. Jays is a brave soul. I have much to learn from him.
Ah,
I am still a fighter.
That's what I mean.
he does still kick
Uh,
ass. He
I
just
figured, like-
apologizes when he's done.
Yeah.
Sorry about that. Sorry for your
Yeah,
loss.
that's
He's
all
like, kill somebody. Sorry for your loss.
Yeah, here's your arm back if you want it.
In this room, sparsely furnished, with both arms tied around what looks to have at one point been perhaps a table, a man with eager eyes, shorn hair, tan skin, and a lithe body. It looks up at you. Are you guys? Wait, Manfred? Oh no.
Jay, is that you?
You guys know each other?
Did you lose a bet? Or are you trying to hang out with the goblin farmer's daughter or something?
Ooh, I like that approach.
That was one time.
Well, you want to cut him out of there, Duke?
Yeah, I get you. I use throwing knives to cut him out.
Does
Just
Jay look injured to me? Does he look injured or does he look, besides being tied up, he's pretty good.
Yeah, he's in completely normal shape. Like somebody put him aside and forgot about him instead of tortured and beat him.
You drop this.
thank you.
Giving him back the throwing knife.
Here's your knife.
What are you doing out this way, Jay?
A bunch of guys in red robes. They came to talk to me. They said that I needed to help them. Apparently, some guy was making an army, and They didn't tell me a lot, but they told me I could do it, and it was nice to have someone believing in me.
Yes, it turns out they're liars. They told me they weren't going to be there at all.
Well, Jays, you're a brave soul. I could learn a lot from you. Can't believe you came out here by yourself, but I can learn a lot from you.
I mean, if someone thinks I can do it, then I should, right?
Yeah, I agree. You can do it, definitely.
Okay, where's my stick? Looking around the room, moving furniture, moving a too big couch for goblins. Like it's just a little too long. Just here it is. I'll pull out a massive flail. The haft is the length of a pole arm, and the head is the size of a human head.
Oh man, that's
There it is. Where's my shield? Hold on.
It's inside the flail.
Just open up a compartment. It's a
Yeah.
tiny little buckler.
Shield.
There we go.
Yeah.
Oh, I feel like myself again.
Cool.
I didn't
so
see
I'm-
any necromancer.
I'm curious,
sorry.
Eli, how you want to, if you're wanting to, or how you're going to describe having been captured. Like, who did it?
No one's asked him.
Yeah.
I just said, what are you doing up these ways? What are you doing up here?
Yeah, the guys in the robes. They told me to come up here. They said it'd be great.
How'd you end up in this predicament?
Well, I saw a really cool looking statue, and I was admiring the craftsmanship because you don't get a lot of stuff like that from goblins. And then I turned around to keep on going into the volcano, and I slipped on a rock. I bumped my head pretty hard. Everything's a blur after that, but I think a person, or maybe a noodle, something dragged me away and tied me up, and then they were mean and they hid my stuff.
Hey, Pot, come in here.
Are you talking about? Are you
Pot.
talking about this thing?
I'm like,
What in God's
ugh.
name is that?
So,
It's,
Randy, just for your reference on how you can play along with this, the pool noodle familiar has taken a liking to you, and think of it as a kitten that is like on your shirt that you've got to pull the claws out of your fabric just to be able to show it to somebody else, kind of thing. It's a clingy little animal thingy now.
How, this thing right here?
Maybe.
Get it off, and I put it on my shoulder. Good
It just-
thing.
It just kind of curls up, forms itself into like a donut shape, and just sits on your shoulder.
You're bringing that thing with us? It attacked me.
I'm pretty sure it attacked me too.
It
How's
was
your ankle?
trying to bond with you, but
Bond?
it did not work so well. I guess it was trying to bondage with you.
Well,
Well, as long as
it
it
knows how
stays
to tie a
far
good knot.
away.
Look, leave a little snake. Well, it's not quite a snake. Snape alone.
Okay.
It good Snape.
Oh,
Well,
it's
you're
got
gonna
a
call it
name
Snape?
now.
How long have we been traveling? It's been what, a day?
We're going to call a day and a half from the time that you first learned about what was going on.
Okay, because my character is starving. So hungry.
It's very possible, and you should have
Oh, are
some
you hungry?
rations.
Here, I packed extra.
Yeah, I got extra rations too.
Press the digit. No. Invis. No. Okay, just take him rations here.
Well,
Eat your food.
Okay.
I actually before we guys started hanging out, I actually swiped this, and I pull out a beautiful pecan pie.
That's
You
been
guys
in
wanna
your
share?
pocket this whole time.
Yeah.
Where,
Well, you couldn't smell it?
you wouldn't have bought that from Nottingham's, would you?
Yeah.
Bought. He bought it.
They-
Yes.
They have the best pecan pie
He's
in the
still
whole
bought it.
Smoky Top region.
About 3 days ago, 2 hours past noon.
And I put my finger in it, just like total disregard to like everybody else's hygiene standards. I put my finger in it. I'm like, yeah, it's pretty cold, probably 3 days.
I see. I see. All right, then.
You guys want some or what?
No, I'll pass.
I think I'll pass.
All right, more for me
I-
then, I guess.
You know, Eli, and I've got to make the bad joke now because I thought you were going to. When you were asking him when he bought the pie, I thought you were going to ask if it was like at 314, 1592. Pie.
I got you.
Yeah. Well, when you were going with the time, I really thought you were going at 314. But
Well,
3:14 in 15 seconds.
yeah,
what you don't know, Joe, is that I bought it on March 14th.
there you go.
There you go.
Pie day. So what we'll do, you know, you guys maybe do a little reminiscing, and this is where you, if you want, think of more ways that your characters might have some backstory. Y'all, the three that played last week, so Chris, Zeb, Randy, your characters, so the paladin, the thief, the wizard, know about the fighter, right? In general, you know the fighter exists, and in this case, if you
you're
haven't
the
already
fighter.
met the fighter, this is the fighter. Jays is the fighter. Manfred has. You know, Duke just happened to steal the dessert he wanted, without really stealing it. He was just there first,
Yeah.
but wrongly.
I
First,
bought it. I bought it with stolen money.
There, even better.
There's a crime.
Maybe the pie should not have cost 5 digits.
Anything else you guys want to just explore, create as you go? We'll just make notes of it. I'll just push the party more towards the volcano at this point as far as the story goes. So you'll approach. Now, the other thing to note is, again, the hut that Jay's was in was untarnished. Not a cut, not a scratch, not burned, nothing. It looks like they avoided that maybe because there wasn't a goblin in it, because all the goblins and the Crimson Order people were just, you know, completely wiped out. And the Crimson Order was, you found the robes left, but it was just dust aside from the robes. So they had just been completely wiped out like the goblins. But apparently they didn't want this guy, right? It wasn't part of it. So even the building he was in was left unblemished. It's like a sore thumb just sticking out there where everything else is really wiped out.
I guess I'm not good enough for them.
That's horrible,
The
isn't it?
story of his life.
I'll show them.
Just maybe a couple hundred yards from there, the buildings start to get fewer and fewer, or at least the remnants of them get fewer and fewer. And what you have, since it's right next to the volcano and the ground is nice and warm and it's very fertile ground, there are actually still some crops that the goblins were growing, kind of some rudimentary, like maybe some turnips and carrots and what have you, maybe some potatoes, that kind of thing. And they're still in decent shape. It looked like they wiped out the humanoid stuff, but the plant life was spared. And that's what you see as you're approaching an opening on the side of the volcano. What are y'all doing, like chat wise, catching up wise, character stuff?
Well, I'm definitely grabbing a carrot out of the ground,
Hmm.
taking a chewing on that as we walk.
And they're not
in.
bad. Yeah. They might not be growing the best stuff, but maybe that's because goblins don't have the greatest sense of taste. Maybe.
It's possible.
I'm
What was
eating
that?
the pie alone while we're walking.
What was the name of that place you worked again? Nottingham?
Nottingham, that's where they make the pies.
Is that
It's
the
a
place?
bakery.
Is that the place that bought the cheap pecans from my college, where they grew them with magic from pig urine?
Oh God!
And like, I'm just completely ignoring you. I'm just eating it still. I just don't care.
Never
Like,
thought
the-
I'd
the
like
most
pig urine,
innocent
but here we
eyebrow
are.
raised.
Magic's weird. I don't like
It
it.
sure is.
I'm just messing with you.
As you get closer to the entrance of the volcano, Pat, the familiar Snape, kind of quivers like a little bit, like a kind of a shaking on your shoulder. It's staying in donut form, but you can see the eyes have moved to look towards the volcano.
That is unsettling.
It's really it's something that you learn as you go, but it seems to present eyes so that other people know where it's looking.
So as soon as we see it, I'm hiding behind Jace because he's way bigger than I am.
He's a
Even-
thin feller though.
Yeah, well, he's still bigger than me.
Yeah, it sounds about right to me.
And you don't want anyone hurting your pie for
No,
sure.
I'm still
Yeah, you hide behind.
you-
Yeah.
looking behind.
Will you please stop? You're giving me anxiety being right behind me.
Like,
I
just
can't see you back there.
I got to finish this before we do anything else.
So maybe we got pie eating. We got pie eating, and we got the come to life donut on Pat's shoulder. What's Manfred up to?
Just eating this carrot and kind of eyeing the end, that entryway off in the distance.
Yeah, I imagine this like motley crew of like 3 other people that are like, one's super nervous, one's like has no manners at all, and one's fighting his pool noodle, and you're looking out to the meadow. It's so serene, and you're eating your carrot, thinking about the truth.
It's an interesting spot where you are because of the plants and the farm area essentially that's there. There's some bright greens and some bright colors where the rest of the spot is, like I said, just been wiped out. And then you guys are walking through. So yeah, there's kind of a serene feeling as you approach the entrance. So Manfred, you said you were keeping an eye on that. As it gets bigger than that the size of a penny in the distance, and you start seeing it larger. Again, it's only what I say a couple hundred yards from where you even found Jay, so it's not too far. But you do see right at the entrance. You're positive, no rolls or anything. You're positive those are some zombie goblins standing at the entrance, holding like sharpened sticks. Not you wouldn't even call them goblin spears. They're even more rudimentary than a goblin spear.
How many do we see?
You see 2. There could be something else behind because it gets dark really fast. The sun sets on, well, hold on. The sun sets on this side because they're on the west side. So with the shadows coming from behind you and forward, it's harder to make out some things. But it is really dark right inside the entrance. You see 2 zombie goblins standing outside the entrance with sharpened sticks.
You guys seeing what I'm seeing? Those aren't normal goblins over there.
No, probably part of the undead army.
Oh, I'm sure of it.
Ew.
So, wizards, do they have spell slots, or do I just use a spell till it pretty much stops working with a bad roll?
Yes to both. You're using your spell slot until you can't use it anymore.
Okay.
So yeah, it is a slot insofar as you could just forget it, which means it goes away, but it isn't used just because you used it. It's used if you fail or choose to use it.
Okay.
It's like chewing gum. It's not gone until you throw it away.
Or swallow it.
I was still uncertain about that.
Or spit it in someone else's hair and run away.
Yeah.
I've never done that. I just heard.
Sounds
How
like somebody
rude,
did that.
spitting on people. Be a gentleman. Take it out of your mouth with your hand and place it there.
Well, I did that too, but I didn't know we were going there.
Oh God.
So what do you want to do with that?
Let's discern realities.
Well, does anybody have ranged weapons here, or is it all close up? Well, no,
I mean, technically everyone does, because when you
with
think
your
about
magic.
well, I was just going to say, when you think about it from the dungeon world perspective, you're going to do your damage based on what the damage is for your character. So if you throw a rock from here, you're going to do the same amount of damage as if you hit him with a sword.
Yeah, but I can't throw a rock like
Right.
a couple hundred yards.
No,
Fair.
but right now you're probably about 50 yards away. You're close enough to actually see what's going on down there.
Oh, you want to see if I can make a big bang again?
Yeah.
Let's give it a shot. Magic missile, fire.
Fire!
May I
So-
use a magic
so
missile attack?
Nonchalant.
Yeah.
Magic missile. Fire. Kick its ass.
Go magic missile, go.
I have where is that? Is that the right one? Yeah, that's the right one. Yeah. I want to make sure we're sharing the right screen for the dice. But yeah, you tell me when you're doing something. I just tell you if you need to roll to do it. So if you're going to cast a spell, then yeah, because it is a move, you do need to roll for that.
Okie
So roll
dokie.
to cast a spell.
Why are they stacked on top of each other on my screen? All right, so that's an 8. So with an 8, let's see, casting a spell. I got to scroll all the way down.
Yeah.
We Spells. No, I don't need a list. Where are you, the wizard? Okay, there you are. Cast a spell. When you release a spell you prepared, roll plus intelligence, which was my +2. On a 10 plus, spell is successful. On a 7 through 9, the spell is cast, but choose one. I either draw unwelcome attention or put myself in a spot. The GM will tell me how. The spell disturbs the fabric of reality as it is cast. Take -1 on going to cast a spell until the next time you prepare spells. No, thank you. After it is cast, the spell is forgotten. No, thank you. So I'm going to draw unwelcome attention, is what I'm going to do.
That wants to be in trouble.
I'm 50 yards away.
So how big of a bag is this?
Yeah,
Well, since I didn't roll
describe
max.
your magic missile from this distance and what it looks like.
So the magic missiles release in a volley of usually, I think it's like 3 to 5. I'm trying to look where it's at. Little projectiles, which I like to think look sort of like teardrops or whatever. But the first time I used it, I rolled a 12 because it was a 10 plus, and so I just kind of said that they fused together into one big one. So it like launched in just a giant mass and hit. So then it hits them and turns into basically white and gold fireworks that have little snaps after it hits. And that's the magic missile I chose to design. Shows how it went.
Very
Where
flamboyant.
is very flamboyant.
And just so you know, in general, and this is for everybody, but a little extra for Zeb just because he hasn't played before, but you can describe it however you want. It's just still going to do the same thing. So like where you were saying, Randy, it's a certain amount of projectiles. Technically, it's just projectiles of pure magic. The important part is no matter how you describe it, it's going to deal 2d4 damage to the target. So you can describe it as, a 500-foot tall missile that launches and explodes on it. It's going to do 2d4 damage.
Okay,
so really, that's why I love to hear how you want to describe it instead of how the spell itself says it works.
The way I want to describe it then with how it does is it's kind of random. So the number of damage is the number of projectiles that do 1 hit point each, typically. Unless I roll a 12 and then it's just a big bang. So in this case, 7 projectiles shot out and hit one of them.
Cool.
Yep.
I got you.
Yep.
7.
So that is
I see it now. Yep.
the flavor text.
I knew you rolled it, but I wanted to make sure I saw it. So 7, and those projectiles. I think last time you said was it yellow?
Hit blew up white and gold.
Okay.
And then did little snapping noises afterwards, like fireworks.
Nice. All right. So you've got 2 goblins, and it says that the magic missile does say deal the damage to 1 target. So left or right?
Let's take out the left one.
Okay. So the zombie goblin on the left gets hit with the 7 projectiles, and it does what you said, blue and gold, and like half a pack of firecrackers gets lit up, pop, 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 right as it's going off. The other one doesn't react at all, but the first one just drops to the ground after being hit. Is there any kind of like blast? Would he get knocked back a foot or something like that, or is not that big?
Just say that it gets knocked back like an inch every time it gets hit. So
okay, so he gets knocked back a few, like half a foot or so, and then falls down to the ground. The other one, no reaction to that at all. It just kind of turns and faces away from the volcano face. So it's like looking in your direction now, but no actual wow, what just happened kind of reaction. More of, kind of a zombie goblin don't give a crap kind of reaction.
I would say it's weird. Something without eyes can see me, but this thing has eyes, and it's crazy.
That thing, and this is where it's good. This is where the other part, the thing you chose for your 7 to 9 comes in. That thing on your shoulder kind of morphs itself into, I'm almost going to start treating this thing like an emoji generator. It morphs itself into an exclamation point and starts flashing. And as that happens, that zombie goblin starts coming towards Pat.
Why did you do that? I know you're excited, but why?
Danger.
Look at me.
Yeah.
Guys,
so there's a zombie goblin
coming right for us.
I tell that it might as well just be an arrow pointing at me, and it becomes an arrow pointing at me. I wasn't serious.
What are you guys going to do about it?
I'm
It looks
gonna
like it's coming back.
I'm gonna close the distance and take a swing with my longsword.
You certainly can. Let's go for the hack and slash thing because you're using going right up to sword range.
Yep.
Oh, the flying blade strikes again.
Do.
There, Teal.
It's nice to know some things don't change.
Oh man.
You don't have a
All
concept.
right,
Well,
with a
mild.
7.
Yeah, I hit, but
So with the
Ugh.
7, we're going to we're just going to let it make its attack against you. Easy enough. So also, if you would roll your damage, and then also roll me a D4, and the D4 is the damage you will take.
What was your weapon again, Chris?
longsword. 6
So you do
points of
6.
damage. He's doing what? 4, you said?
Yeah, roll a D4, and that's what you will take. You're actually going to take one. You have 3 armor, right?
Yep. So 1 point for me.
Yeah, so you take 1. Now, describe what happens to the goblin as you chop it down, because you are chopping it down.
Yeah. So I wanted to kind of push with my shield to back him up, and then like he can't see me. Like I spin around down to one knee and cut him in half. That was my plan.
Cool. And so that's what you guys see. And the distance at that point, so you pretty much went up 25 feet. It had closed the distance. At the time all this ends up transpiring, everybody was about 50 feet away, and then you make this move, and you close that distance. And as you reach that spot, Manfred, you also see that inside the volcano, there are no other shapes, like about 10 feet or so that you can see inside. Because I know you were looking before, so I presume as you get closer, I'll just tell you just see the entrance, but it looks like you can only see maybe 10 or so feet, and either it descends to total darkness there or takes a turn, but you can't quite tell from outside where you are.
Okay.
That was a good hit. Oh, are you okay, buddy?
Certainly was.
Yeah, I'm only down 2, so I'm not too bad. I'll wait. I'll wait it
Speaking
out
of
a
which,
little bit.
did we talk about like healing potions at all? Did
Yeah,
anyone have any?
I have. Yeah, I do have healing potion actually.
I have healing potions as well.
Okay, because I'm trying to remember off the top of my head. I think a healing potion was just like 5 hit points. I'm pretty sure it was a flat number.
Yeah, I don't know what it is. It doesn't say on the paper.
I know I have it in my little binder here, so I'll find that. Well, what else are you guys up to? I know you want to go inside, but is anybody wanting to do anything before you do?
Yeah, I kind of want to check over this body because
Okay.
Let's see if there's any strange markings or something. Maybe discern realities, or I don't know. See what kind of craziness this wizard is up, this necromancer's up to.
This is what I was going to say. If you, and this also goes to the whole discern realities thing. It's if you're going to look for information that can change the course of what's going on. So the way you just described that was, yeah, definitely. You're going to take a few minutes, examine it, see if there's anything the necromancer's up to that you can figure out from this. Definitely a discern realities. But if it was something like I loot the body, you guys would just loot the body. That's that. Right. There's no need to roll for something. Okay. So go ahead with your discern realities. Eli, what was that?
I sucked it.
I got the rule for the potions.
You got?
Yeah, from Roll20's Dungeon World Compendium. Heal potion. Yep. Huh. When you drink an entire healing potion, heal yourself 10 damage or remove 1 debility. Your choice.
There you go.
Oh,
okay.
Cool. Very nice.
See, I don't think we got into what gear everyone had. But I had a choice between a leather armor or a bag of books. So I took the books and healing potions combined. And then I took the staff for the weapon. And the last one was I took the 4th healing potion to add to my little collection. So
there you go.
I got healing to spare.
All right.
I'm also a cleric. Temporarily.
That was the other part about it is we don't necessarily need certain classes to do things. We'll make sure that the world can provide for healing if you guys don't have a portable cleric with you. We'll make sure that things can happen, even if it's not necessarily easy to do.
Yeah.
I got poultices.
Poultices as well. So with that, was anyone going to use a healing potion? Because I know we just talked about it, but I think Chris Manfred's the only one that might be down.
Too. I'll wait it out.
You go with it? Okay.
He'll bleed it out. Wait it out.
I ain't got time to bleed.
Ain't got time. The discern realities roll, you had a 5.
Yeah, 5. Holy,
So
fuck that
just
one. I get an
straight up.
experience point.
Yeah, you do get an experience. Good point. That is an experience point. It is a straight up fail that for now I'm not going to use yet because there isn't anything super
Right, so-
important that can happen
yeah.
right here. But that's when I'm going to save. And with that, what you examine with the body is it looks like what you would have expected. You don't find anything out of the ordinary. It looks like it's gotten cut a little bit. It looks completely drained of blood. It's completely pale, almost desiccated, but it was drained of blood, not all fluids. So it's like
All right.
very thinned and decrepit kind of looking and extremely pale. It doesn't have any of the nice healthy gray or greenness to its skin that a goblin might normally have. But nothing you didn't expect, right? Because you know that these things had their blood drained by blood blade balls of doom.
That's right.
Yeah. Okay.
Are you guys coming or what?
I'm
Oh,
right behind
right.
you. What are you talking about?
Get
Okay,
off your butt.
I'm coming.
Yeah, I'm lagging behind. I'm real sleepy after eating that entire pie.
Yeah.
All right. So, are there any trees nearby or something? I don't want to take my horse into this cave.
That's a good point. You guys can definitely tie up your horses outside. Sure.
You guys brought horses?
So, yeah.
That's a good point too. Jays wouldn't have had his horse at this point. Even if he showed up with one, he wouldn't have it now.
All right. I'm going to carry both of my buckets. I recommend you guys maybe take one at least.
Yeah, I'm gonna
That's
take
right. You remember, we got to take the buckets. I trust Pot.
Buckets?
Yeah, he's never steered me wrong, so I'm taking this bucket with me.
Did you not see the giant ball of death?
No.
Oh, water. Oh, you're talking about a bucket of water. Okay.
Yes. Buckets of water.
Gotcha. So they want to be able to destroy the Wicked Witch again if it happens.
Now, I'm an 8, so my buckets have like maybe that much water.
Yeah.
These are so heavy.
My character then explains to Jace. Well, you see, there's these big balls, and they rolled around, and they had swords on them, and they drained everybody of blood. But it turns out they're made of sand or something. I don't know.
He found a way to convert sand with magic into metal-looking spheres
Okay.
Yeah.
that form
Like,
blades.
Here, just take my bucket. Just take one of my buckets, all right?
Okay.
It'll keep you safe.
Sure.
Now I only
I'll
have to
do
share
that.
one bucket.
I know this is a theory, but I'm pretty sure I'm right.
I put my hand on Jay's shoulder. Remain steadfast. Perseverance through all opposition. You can do it, Jays. I believe.
Yeah, what he said. Carry that bucket with vigor.
There you go.
Oh my god.
You know what he said.
Carry that bucket.
It's like inspiration. Yeah, whatever. I like it. So at the entrance, when you guys get close enough to it, so within 10, 20 feet, the sun is setting. The whole area's got that. The sun has set, but there's still enough even light out that you can make everything out. And you can tell that the entrance that goes into the volcano is just flat. It's like a black wall of darkness about 10 feet in. And that's as far as you can see.
And then I pipe up, and I'm like, I can be useful because remember, I have the staff of light and the stick of explosion. So
Yeah.
I use the staff of light, which is
So
a
you light the
candle.
candle. Yeah.
Candle. To
Light.
Is that one of those nice? Is that one of those nice smelling ones, or is it just normal?
It is one of those awful like earwax, like really long.
I swear I thought I was going to say pecan pie scented. That's why the pecan
was
pie
the
didn't
least
smell. It's all in the
disgusting.
candle.
Yeah, that would make me
Use this
sick after
one.
eating that.
This one smells like lavender.
So we get when you light it, and we kind of established it was like a magically artifacty kind of thing. So we're going to give it a little extra light.
Okay.
And it's directional. Think of the old hooded lantern kind of thing where you can make it shine in one direction, almost
Oh
like a
man,
flashlight.
this is the candle.
Yeah,
The candle. Just
exactly.
like I am the.
The candle.
That's right, man.
Are
It is
you
the staff of light?
is Duke still in the back, or is he moving more towards the middle?
Yeah, doesn't he have like traps?
Well, if
stuff
you guys
going
want
on?
to be more specific, you're welcome to. To start, I'm just kind of lumping you all about 15 feet outside of the entrance to the volcano right now.
I have
nobody necessarily in front or behind. You're just a group of 4.
Hey, am I allowed to look at the goblin up here that he blasted? That was up by.
Oh
the
yeah,
entrance
yeah.
door?
The one that was
Can I
that
discern
he
realities
hit,
on him?
that he killed with the magic missile. That one is at the entrance. So if you guys want to go right up to it, if that's your next step, then yes, you'll be right there.
That sounds
Yeah.
good.
Okay.
Let's do it.
And what you'll notice, Duke, well, everyone will see it, but Duke specifically, as you hold the staff of light towards the volcano, it looks like the light does not go past that like 10-foot wall of darkness, 10-foot in wall of darkness.
Interesting.
And the cave itself is big enough to fit any one person walking upright. So it's maybe about 7 feet tall and about 5 feet wide max. Relatively that kind of arch shape the whole way. Like this is definitely a humanoid made tunnel of some type. It's synthetic, not the natural tunnel.
Okay.
When you reach the body there, Manfred, yeah, let's go. We can go with another discern realities. This one died differently. Maybe you can discern something different from it,
Yeah, that's what I'm hoping.
perhaps.
Oh God.
You can
Well,
discern
hold on.
that
I
it
gotta
died
click to make
differently.
sure we see that. I see a
I
4.
think he had. This is the one you magic missiled, right?
Somebody's leveling up. Yes, that is the one I magic missiled. Why is the
So
lights
yeah,
not? Sorry.
that's another experience. And with this one,
Oof.
there's no. It doesn't have, obviously, it doesn't have itself cut in half like you did with the first
Right.
one. So it's intact. It's got the like bruised areas from where the magic missiles hit it, but it's like magical bruises, not blood bruises. This is real. Same kind of idea as the other one. Is zombified, been drained of blood, kind of wrinkly, yucky looking. But yeah, nothing else really jumps out at you. Yeah, not yet though. You got 2 failures. Something will jump out at you.
Does the light
no.
seem like it's still if he walks closer, still not going further in?
I don't know. Is he walking closer?
Yeah, I'm gonna take point.
Okay.
Yep.
So as Duke walks closer with the light, and first off, like I said, everyone could just by looking at this, it's not a normal candle. There's definitely something about it that's a little more. And your Snape on Pat's shoulder is turned into kind of like call it a question mark, but it's like an unsure question mark. Like it's not even sure it wants to be questioning what's going on.
It's the Cross of Confusion off the Blister Cult album covers.
Ooh.
Yes, I'm confused about you as well.
As Duke approaches, you realize the light actually starts reflecting back from the darkness it hits, which isn't like normal.
No, it doesn't sound normal at all. It sounds magic.
Yeah, it's almost reflective like a mirror. And it's the same light coming back at you, because if you move it, it'll like reflect towards the wall. If you move it the other way, it reflects the other way. You can shine yourself in the eye by pointing it at the darkness, right, and hitting yourself in the face with the light.
Can I pick up a rock?
Yes,
just
plenty of rocks near a volcano, I hope. Even if some of them are, like obsidian or pumice or whatever.
Just a small rock, and I just sort of underhand throw it into the void.
You don't hear it land, but it does go past.
I cast detect magic.
Sure you don't want to cast magic missile at the darkness?
Before you even finish casting the spell, it says, "Yes, I'm magic." No, I say that because you can feel it even before you start. But if you don't mind, let's revisit detect magic. because I want to confirm that I'm going to give you the right info.
All right. So typically, detect magic is a third, I think, level spell. Let me double check. It is actually
Well,
a
it's a
first level
level
spell.
1, but you get it as a cantrip because of your
I am an
elvenness.
elf. Yes.
Yeah.
So it says one of your senses is briefly attuned to magic. The GM will tell you what here is magical. So I know it's magical. I'm just kind of wondering if I could somehow tell what kind of magic it is.
Which sense is it of yours, though?
Here's what I was going to say. Chris nailed it. In order for me to give you a little more detail, tell me which sense it is that detected the magic.
He will use his nose and smell.
I wanted him to taste stuff.
I was so ready for that.
Same.
And that was one. I don't know if you've heard me say that one before, Chris, but once upon a time when I was playing Dungeon World at a friend's house, one of the ones Mike Robinson was at, we had determined the wizard, the way he detected magic was to lick things, and it would be whether it tasted like magic or not. So yeah,
It doesn't smell like magic, but that's because I use my tongue. And he licks the magic.
So, Randy, what Pat smells is the smell of death. This is definitely necromantic magic, for sure. You can smell like decomposition, just nasty, and it's only that's attunement that you have with magic that gave you that. These zombie goblins barely even smelled compared to what you're picking up right now.
This is disgusting. Smells of decay and death. It's definitely necromancy, which we knew, but let's continue on.
But you can confirm that in this case, your detect magic confirms with you it is the necromancer that made this happen. It's not just like somebody walked by and casted darkness in the hallway.
And it was casted by Thomas, the necromancer.
Okay, but why don't we answer the more important question? And I'm going to stick my hand through it. Like uncovered, no gauntlet.
Right before Jace does that, the one thing I did forget is, Randy, you still need to roll the cast a spell for that. I already answered it, and you already were successful, but let's see if the dice give you an experience point or something.
Let's see if the dice say that Joe was lying.
Well, they keep stacking. So 11.
Oh,
dude, I see 11. So yeah, you got everything that I gave you. And it even makes, just as good a sense that I gave you more data because it was a pretty straightforward success. No downside to that. You got real goods informations.
The DM god has foresight.
Jays, you stick your hand in there.
Yes, my uncovered hand. Just, what's it gonna do to us?
Oh, Jays, you're a brave soul. I can learn much from you.
What?
There you go. The feeling of it, for lack of any better term, it's like putting your hand into an ice cube. Your hand moves, but it feels like so cold that there's resistance from the cold itself.
Hey, soft boy, is it squishy?
No, I wish it was. It's just cold.
And like to the point where you're sure if you keep your hand in there long, frostbite. Like if you put your hand in a snowbank in winter for half an hour kind of thing. But it feels like that within seconds of sticking your hand through the
sure the heat of the volcano will even this out. We'll be fine.
It's a magical darkness. It's not going to be affected by the volcano.
Does light produce heat?
No.
Oh.
Its companion piece produces some heat for a moment.
Stick of explosion.
Companion piece?
You don't want to hear about the bag when he first stole it. Here you see the bandages on his arms.
I do now.
Yeah, I have this nasty claw hand.
You?
And it's that was the hand I was eating, the damaged hand. That was what I was raw dogging the pecan pie.
There goes the pie.
Raw dogging the pie with. Excuse me?
Yes.
Man, what kind of show is this?
I mean, we do state the rating at the start of every episode.
Yes.
Yes.
Maybe
explicit. Yes.
We might as well say that there will be explicit, Joe, by now. Will be explicit.
Yeah, but I think we've done some where
we probably have.
and we didn't know.
Yeah,
we had no idea ahead of time. We did have one for this is forever ago, and I know I've made a couple of shout outs to the past here, but back in the day when Kurt actually ran the Pathfinder one, we did a Pathfinder adventure, and we specifically did it so his kids could listen. And the intro to that, I recorded a different intro that specifically said the following podcast is not explicit. And we made sure we were clean the whole time. So
Whereas
we actually have a couple episodes like that on purpose.
the original Dirt character from the space one was very explicit. He was a foul-mouthed who cares,
Foul-mouthed?
captain. Yeah.
Every time I hear that, I think of Eddie Murphy in Beverly Hills Cop.
I was listening to that the other day. That's a good
Fuck you.
episode, man.
All right,
It's
so
really, really cold in there.
super freaking cold, and I just about never want to speak for a character, but what I know about Jay's so far, he's not going in there. It's
Is
probably
it-
way too
Well,
cold for him.
I'm pushing him in actually and going in with him. I'm just going to push
Stop.
and go in with him.
Jace, is it colder than the look your boss gave you when the pie was found out to be stolen?
Do you,
Come on.
do
Remain
paladins,
steadfast.
do paladins have any kind of like dispel magic in this? Or any-
No.
No.
Wow. Do I get that later?
Uh,
Yeah, I don't know if that's one of the things. No, it doesn't look like it.
I get it at 3rd level, so let's
I like
leave
that.
and I'll go melee stuff for a while and see how that goes.
If he tries to resist me, I'll use my I am the law thing to kind of get him to go with me.
Okay.
Drop opposition. Let's go.
That
And
you
remember,
don't have
too-
to be so forceful.
Remember,
You
if
could
it's
have
not
just
on your
asked.
character sheet, that doesn't mean you can't do it. The important part is you can do anything, or at least you can attempt anything. And the character sheet are the things that your character is particularly good at that nobody else can do. Like for the one example I was about to mention, for Randy, remember the wizard can do rituals. You might be able to create some kind of ritual that could dispel this, and that's an actual thing on your sheet. But anybody else could come up with any idea that may or may not work, right? I'm going to throw a rock there and see what happens. Or maybe if it was phrased as, last time I threw a rock at darkness, the darkness went away. I'm going to try that again. Something you can make up anything. The point is we play to see what's going to happen next. And if we're coming up with ideas of what could happen, that gets us to that point. Now we have an idea of what might happen next. I know right now that I've put a puzzle in front of you guys and I'm waiting to hear an answer.
Well,
Well, I'm trying to push Jays through it as I walk in myself.
That's
what I'm doing.
Manfred's answer.
Give me
I
a
completely
minute.
forgot about
Give me a
rituals.
minute.
Yeah.
I've
And that's
gotta
why
get
I
ready.
want to bring it up, because I know we're getting back into this system and I don't want anyone to like miss something just because you didn't remember it. I want to at least be able to remind you guys of things that you may not have remembered.
All right.
But yeah, does Jays actually fight back? I mean, I'm not looking for like character conflict per se, right?
it's
but
it's
conflict
not
is okay,
so
but not
much-
combat. Right?
It's clearly resistance. I'm not trying to stop him from pushing me forward.
I'm
but
going
I'm
to
trying
the
to
law
get-
him, man.
I am trying to just get out of his grip. And while that's happening, like grabbing my backpack. Just let me get
Manfred,
ready.
Manfred, stop.
Manfred.
Stop. Manfred, stop.
But I already say, go forward. I am the
No,
law. I'm going to make my
Manfred.
roll.
Manfred, no.
Too late. I'm rolling.
What are you rolling for? Hold on.
I am the law to tell him to push forward, tell Jay to push forward. To see if he does
Okay,
it.
in this case, I'm not so concerned about the role as I am about what Eli wants for the character's reaction to be, because he could just say, when he hears you issue a command, he would just follow it, and you might not even need a roll.
Oh,
right?
right. Yeah, I got you.
Because I don't know enough about the character yet. I know from an NPC side, if you do that, I want to roll so I can determine the NPC's reaction. But
Right.
I'd like Eli to give an idea of how he wants to react to it.
So Jays would offer, I think he would offer a rebuttal. Like, I'm not saying I'm not going in there. I just need to get ready. Pulling out his camp blanket from his bag, wrapping it around himself, and holding one end in his flail hand and one end in his shield hand. I just needed a minute. You don't have to be so mean about it.
Does that work, Chris?
Yeah, that's fine.
Good. Okay. So you're not gonna attempt to expedite him. It sounds like he's moving along. He just needed his whoopee.
Yep.
I'll go first, I guess, and flail
Okay.
down like it's a spear against my shield, business end outward.
Okay.
Okay, fine. I walk into.
Now the flail has a wooden handle. You said. I can't remember. Did you say it was a wooden handle with a metal ball, or is it all metal? Or
I didn't specify, but I would imagine because it's such a long haft, I would think that it has to be made of wood, with just the reinforced chain and the iron ball the size of a man's head.
the way you described that, I'm seeing it as the ball is going to get there at least a foot or two before you do, because the flail is so long, right?
At least 6 feet before me.
Okay. It's right after the ball hits it, everybody sees frost forming, and it's that whole movie cliche of crackly frost kind of coming up. It starts at the end of the flail where the ball is. It goes onto the haft, and it's just all along, and it's just approaching Jay's hands. It's kind of slow, but it's like it's going to be there in a couple seconds, kind of thing.
I do want to say that before doing all of this, I did put my glove and my gauntlet back on.
That works, yeah.
And Jays is going to let out an audible whimper as the frost runs down the length of his weapon. He's not stopping, but
not stopping. Okay. Does anybody else have any other reaction to this, or are we just going to see what happens?
Just gonna see what happens.
I'm gonna intervene. I'm gonna.
Okay. I don't know if anybody else is coming in, if it's just me and him.
No, I'm gonna intervene. I'm gonna knock the flail down out of his hand and push him back and be like, "We need to slow down, slow our rolls a second here.
Hey,
this is an obvious trap." You know,
flail back up.
And Chris, just for what you had said, I had taken it that everybody went inside the entrance, and or at least is at the entrance, and since it's only 10 feet in past the entrance, everyone's still near each other anyway.
Okay.
Yeah. So it's like even if somebody were right outside the entrance, they're 8 feet from you. It's not a very far area that we're working with.
I know that we discerned that it was magic, but if it's a magical trap, can I also use trap expert to
if you don't mind, just go ahead and read the trap expert move so we can get an idea of what that is, because the first part of it is exactly what we're talking about.
Yeah, it says when you spend a moment to survey the dangerous area, roll plus dex on a 10, and then I get three options essentially.
Yeah.
So I'm just
without a doubt, you're in a dangerous area. Yeah. We clearly established the danger, even if it's just danger of freezing.
I mean, I was about to become a Jaysicle.
Yep.
Can I roll for it to ask one?
Yep. Go ahead. Go ahead and roll the roll plus dexterity or dex.
It's +2.
Nice. That's what the thief can do. These go to 11. Nice. Cool. All right.
Well, of the 3 options, 2 of them have been answered. So I'm going to ask, what?
Not necessarily. I would give you a different answer than what you think you already have, because I won't repeat the same thing.
We'll ask all 3.
Well, go ahead with what you want to know first, because it may change what you ask after.
All right. What else is hidden here?
All right. So first off, when we say what else, I'm going to start with what is currently hidden is the other side of the tunnel. And you want to know what other than that. So I just want to be clear that I'm not going to say the tunnel is hidden. It's already obvious. This kind of setup, they're just walking. Randy's got a little sketch. He just gave us a little South Park there. That's kind of neat.
Yeah, I dig it.
The darkness will obey my authority. This kind of thing you've seen before, and there's always some kind of release on the other side of the bad. Now, you've seen this with fire before. You've seen like a wall of fire that you couldn't get through. But you know that there's something on the other side for sure that will release this. But how far over there, you're not sure at this time.
Interesting.
Yeah.
What else can I ask?
Well, you got the other 2 there. And if you have something like even more specific, we could kind of get there by me reinterpreting one of the questions to fit.
What kind of No, I'll just go. I'll just use one of these. So the one I'm looking at is what does the trap do when activated? Obviously, it causes frost, but does it do anything else?
Yes. The frost is to capture. So with the activation of the trap is a being crossing over. So you determine that once something goes past the other side, then that thing is frozen and captured on the other side.
That's all I got.
So
All right. If we're done playing
well,
now,
we
can I
still have
please?
we still have one more. Keep this in mind because you still have one more of your hold, which means we can get past this and somewhere else here, in the near future, you could just use that hold to ask another question.
Okay.
So keep that in mind because it's fine to do that. It's really while you're traveling through a whole area, meaning you don't have to do everything all at once. You can look for traps here, you can look for traps later, and you pretty much keep the same roll as long as you have some of that hold left over.
Nice.
Cool. So you've got that. Randy, what were you going to say? Pat?
If we're done playing games with this here, I'd like to try a ritual spell, if I may, gentlemen.
Now, how much of what I shared with Zeb did Duke share with the party? All of it?
I didn't say that there was something that obviously deactivates it while inside. I just say that like, yo, this is meant to capture you. Like you're gonna get frozen and then pulled into the depths.
Okay.
So then Jays will grab his water skin and like kind of swing the bottom of it into the darkness. Swing it back. Is there like a piece of ice in there, or is the water just really cold?
Yeah. Well, with that speed, we'll say it's a little bit ice. Think of the if you ever put a malleable ice pack in the freezer and take it out before it's solid, you have that slushy feel. So it's like that. You get that little bit of slush when it comes back around.
Way
now
too
let's
quick
go
for somebody to like run in there and try to figure it out.
Let's
Refreshing.
go back to Pat and Randy. Talk to me about the ritual you want to try.
All right. So he's done rituals in the past, so I'd like to think that I carry at least a few candles with me and some chalk. And is this a stone floor, or how is the floor in this?
Think of almost everything around here is going to be some form of mountain / volcano. So you're going to find plenty of rock, plenty of stone. Yes, the floor where you are will be stone of some type. The one thing I do want to tell you is one of the things for rituals, it starts with drawing from a place of power. Well, you're in a volcano. This is a place of power. So that's one thing you don't necessarily have to account for, just so you know.
All right. So what he wants to do is he wants to draw a little circle, and he wants to draw a what would he put in there? I don't know. Just the shape of a bird, I guess, carrying a snake in it. And he's going to light some candles, like 4 of them, towards the wall. And he's going to focus on taking the energy of the volcano and knowing that it's like kind of an icy spell. And volcano is kind of light and hot. And it's a darkness spell as well, it seems. He's going to try to use the energy to break down the wall if he can. Or at least weaken it.
So you're trying to kind of dispel it in some way? Is that
in a
I'm
way?
just trying
Yes.
to
Trying to use the energy of that to either dispel it or to fight it.
Okay.
In a way.
So here's what we're going to do, because once you describe what you're trying to achieve, then I give you some of the conditions that are listed under the ritual. So things that you need to do in order to make it work the way you want. So first off, I'm thinking. So you'll need help from Duke using the Staff of Light. So you definitely need a little more magical light energy going with that.
Duke, can I borrow your staff for a minute?
And you're pretty sure that the best you're going to be able to do is interrupt it briefly. And you guys will have to run through it, hopefully quick, and hope that nothing bad happens.
We've only got a shot at this. I think I can weaken it enough for us to run through. So aim for the middle and just And when you see a flash, that's when we go. So he's going to chant some random gibberish words and then stick his hands in front of him and then hope that this works.
Great googly moogly, make it happen. All right. So what happens is the flash is the staff of light getting consumed by the ritual. Staff of light now gone. And the darkness flickers. And this looks like your moment.
Go.
I was already in it, trying to keep moving.
Oh,
I never left.
While we're running, can I do discern realities to look for that, or maybe it's the
well,
traffic?
you already know about a release on the other side.
Okay,
So all you need to do is get over there and flick it. But y'all need to get through first. So as long as everybody's running through, we're going to say that that's going to happen. And because of the knowledge you already have, you're able to get that. So the cost for all this is the staff of light is no longer.
Did the staff of light dissolve, or did it just lose its power?
It vanished in a puff of magic.
Okay.
Puff of your
I was just going to cast light on it next to be headed back to him.
Yeah.
It's perfectly fine.
Just so you know, when I was saying you would need help from him, if you look at the last one of the ritual, essentially you have to disenchant something to make this happen. And that's what I chose. We're disenchanting the staff of light, and that just it's consumed as part of the components you needed to pull off the ritual.
Oh, we're gonna have words when we get to the other side of this.
The staff of light got so excited it did its own impression of a stick of explosions.
Zeb, if you want to describe it for Duke, you can describe what you find on the other side that actually turns this off, like lever, switch, keypad, just something you scratch off on the wall, whatever you want to come up with.
Think of something interesting.
A hole in the wall in the perfect shape of Patty's face, so you can just
push Pat's face.
Oh man.
Yeah, it's right.
Facial recognition, medieval facial recognition. Yeah,
or like at the end, there's like this ornate demon face, and like with in the mouth, there's a hole like in the Mummy Returns. And and no warning, nobody knows what I'm doing. I stick my whole hand in there like immediately.
And as soon as he does that, the flickering darkness just vanishes.
So I can't put my hand in the
But when you
darkness,
put
but
his
you can
mangled
put-
hand in, does it come out like brand new?
Yeah, it's my mangled hand. I use it for everything for some reason.
Manfred, we've learned not to stick our hands in mouths of weird objects.
I turned it off, didn't I? Even though you had to destroy my staff of light. Now the stick of explosion is useless.
You don't need a staff of light when you have a wizard that can cast light, sir.
But the
Well, if you want a new one, I have one here, and it smells like lavender.
Hey, Manfred, you're all about the truth, right? Let me
That's
tell you
right.
about this guy's big crime.
Uh-oh.
Oh, would you
Uh-oh.
prefer a night? Okay, then
But
shut up.
no, I'm stuck. I'm stuck in the hole for sure. Like my arm is not coming out of it readily.
Wait, isn't there multiple crimes you know about, Duke?
It's the perfect
Lots
time
and lots of
for you to rat me out when I can't move.
Yeah.
Mhm. That works.
Just start throwing stuff at me.
So
Shut up.
Is your
Don't
hand
tell
just
him.
stuck in there?
All right, let's see what's going on with your hand.
His hand isn't stuck so much as he's just finding it hard to pull it out.
Oh, well, in
It's
that
like-
case, we can just dislocate your fingers.
Only if you must.
Only a few months.
You got any more
Um,
pecan
I mean, I don't
pie?
want to.
All right, I'll get the sedative. You get your blade, Manfred.
No, I actually do have some leftover pecan pie in my back pocket.
There you go.
Just
Don't
so
you try and
happens
bribe me.
that is also the place where the stolen family treasure of Manfred's is.
Ooh.
Now
So-
roll to see if you don't accidentally knock that out with your one hand.
No, one of you guys has to get in there.
All right, I'll
my
go
hand.
through your bag for you. This isn't the first time I've put things and taken things out of your bag. That sounded funny.
That's what she
Anyway,
Maybe a little bit of butter around the edges.
Yeah,
you
pecan
want
pie.
this pie? Also, what's that gold thing in there?
Shut up.
Don't worry.
Hey, dude,
Just
that was
one-
rude.
Just one more secret added to this. But you do want this pie, right?
Yeah, put it on my hand, please.
I just put it in its face.
And I'm like rubbing it on my arm.
It's such a waste
Yes.
of pie.
Yeah, Eli's never getting that pie.
No.
Stop being rude to me. All right,
You know
here.
what? I don't think the pie is gonna be enough. And I'm gonna grab Duke's arm, like at the base of the elbow.
Mhm.
I think we're gonna have to dislocate your fingers.
Uh-oh. I would have stepped back then.
Duke can feel me holding onto him just a little too tight. Well, he hasn't known Jays for very long. It's clear that Jays is upset at something.
Like, Manfred,
I
get your boy.
wonder. I wonder
I'll
what
be
it could
fine.
be.
On go. Ready?
So I
3,
got 2
2.
gold that a finger gets left in there.
Yeah.
Ah!
And on 2, I'm just yanking his hand out to dislocate everything and then having it come out normal.
It's like pulling out a baby tooth.
Well, you didn't take my bet, Manfred, so I'm not giving you the 2 gold.
A bet.
And now all we have to do, grabbing his hand, is take each digit, put it back into place.
I'm
This
gonna
is
say
Mango's
that
hand.
the, since my pack has been, opened, unlatched, the severe jostling has dispensed all of my stolen contents onto the floor
Uh-oh.
right in front of both Pat and Manfred.
Anything
I'm
that
just
they
sitting
would
there.
know for sure was obviously stolen?
Yeah, it's because what I stole from Manfred was a family relic. It's gold, and if I remember right, your shield has like 3 fingers on it.
Yeah, kind of like the scout oath,
Like
the
the
whole
truth.
truth thing. Yeah.
It's basically like like a small golden like model of a hand with 3 fingers on it. That I nabbed from him that he just hasn't noticed yet.
Oh, I noticed now.
Because it's worth a lot of money. It's gold, right?
Stupefy.
Your misguided behavior endangers your very soul, Duke. What else you got in here that's mine?
Nothing. Don't worry about it. Don't look. Don't keep looking. And I'm like trying to get everything.
Yeah.
Duke, grabbing the next finger. Answer
Come
the
on,
question.
man.
I tell you, Chris, I think I had mentioned it when you said it before too, but this is what I was thinking of when you said the logo, the 3 fingers. I was thinking the monster logo. That's the first thing I thought. I was like,
Yeah.
that's kind of but yeah, Scout, you got to flip it upside down for like the Scouts thing. Yeah,
Scout's honor, yeah.
that's cool. All right.
So, Duke, just so you know, I could have cast Unseen Servant and shut that off for you. But since you are being a prick,
Whatever. I saw it was there. I took the chance, and look, now we're not freezing to death.
And I got my family relic back.
Yeah. How do you know that's yours?
It's got his name carved in the
I just
back.
pushed my shield into his face.
he carries it around because he can lower 2 of the fingers.
It's like on the back of the medallion, it says Blackwell forever.
Hey, Jays, isn't that your dad's gold tooth?
Hey.
Okay. Dad's not using it.
Yeah. You. And I'm like getting real aggressive with Jace because he forcefully ripped my hand out of there. I'm like, what's
Wait,
the problem, man?
how did Snape end up in there? Give it
You
back.
were in trouble, Duke. I just wanted to help you. Popping the last finger into place.
Owie.
I feel like you've had a vendetta against me ever since this morning.
I don't even know you.
That's my point. Like, what's the
It's a fine
deal?
thing, man.
Duke, Jace, Duke.
Hello.
Yeah, hi. No,
Oh,
they just made it through the darkness together.
Jace, I just want to thank you for duking it out.
Oh.
What else
Welcome,
do we
Pat, to
see
Randy's
after the
world.
darkness dissipates?
The tunnel continues on into definitely natural darkness because as you get closer with any lights, like Pat had lit a couple candles, those candles would still be working, by the way. So if you have that, you have that light. And if anybody else has a light, or if Pat wants to cast light, you can. You would need it now because now you're in a more natural darkness.
Would you
but
guys
it
like
just
to carry a candle?
It continues, in about 20 feet or so after the candlelight, it just fades into darkness, but it just continues into the volcano.
Maybe
we
your
hear
friend can
anything?
hold a candle because both of my hands are full. Shield in one hand, flail in the other.
There you go.
What about the
Um,
bucket? You left the bucket.
You don't hear
The bucket!
anything over the sounds that you guys are making from
Okay.
Manfred.
Don't worry, guys. I got the bucket.
Well, Jays, I was going to ask you how the H's and the O are doing, but H2O. Water joke.
I guess I should say, Chris, for that reference in general, as you get farther
heavy
in, you're going to hear like the rumble of the volcano
Yeah,
get a
I did-
little
yeah, I
bit
did-
louder.
Right. Yeah, that's what I
But
figured.
it's like a thrumming background noise. It is
Okay.
definitely not intrusive. It's like you're not Frodo in Mount Doom at the end of
Right,
the Lord of the Rings. It is just the humming of a semi-active volcano in the background.
Gotcha. I
Okay.
say we press on.
I will have the bucket I was supposed to be carrying hanging off of my shield.
I will cast light on my staff, and if it works, I'll hand it to Jays.
Let's have a cast a
Your
spell
staff?
move for the wizard.
Yes, my staff. I was trying to find my book because I drew on a page and I forgot to turn back to it. So let's go. 8.
8.
So-
All right. So you do have to take one of the negatives.
Guess I'll take up the unwanted attention.
I'm going to cast light in a dark place and draw unwanted attention.
Yeah.
Sounds about right.
Well,
Give
I don't
away
want to
the
take
vision.
-1 going forward because that would stink. And I also
What are you
do not wanna
casting
lose
the
spell.
light on? I think you'd said it, but I wasn't sure what you were talking about. So can
Okay,
you?
so I may not be able to pass it to him actually because it says an item you touch glows with arcane light. It's on the staff, by the way. And it says about as bright as a torch. It gives off no heat or sound. It requires no fuel, but it is otherwise like a mundane torch. You have complete control of the color of the flame. The spell lasts as long as it is in your presence. Okay, so
Yeah. Just
being
to
held
be
by
near
somebody
you.
else is still near me. So
Yeah.
yes. So what color would you like this flame?
Fire colored.
Yes, red.
Oh, sorry,
light.
not Jay's. I need to give it to Duke, not Jay's, because I lost Duke's staff. Sorry, wrong name. You're new. He's kind of new.
I don't know you.
You'll know that. Well, I'll get us out of a scrape. That's what you'll know.
Wait, are you the wizard?
I am the wizard.
The wizard.
That's fine. I think are you casting it on something? Or
I cast it onto the staff and I'm handing it to you because I owe you a staff of light. So here's a lighted staff.
Yeah.
I'm walking
You
with
get
it.
a
I-
sticklet.
Now that we're in, weird territory, I'll still take point. I'm fine with that since I'm good at detecting.
So
traps.
Manfred, paying attention, as soon as that light lights up, and Pat has handed it to Duke. I was just reading what Randy put as a subtext there, and it threw me off. But he, as soon as he hands it to Duke, and they're talking about, you got a staff that's lit up, and then, they're doing their little banter. Manfred definitely now hears what sounds like marching footsteps.
Everybody be quiet.
Why?
And as soon as everybody does that, because
Yes,
I get the reactions of these 3 gentlemen here that it sounds like they actually did be quiet, it is definitely marching footsteps coming closer. And because of the tunnel, you're not really sure how far they are, but you know that they're at least out of the 30 or so feet of light that you have down the tunnel.
Is there anything to hide behind in this cavern area, like this entryway?
I
This
hide behind
entryway,
Manfred.
Not where you are. No, I mean, aside from each other, there is nothing else to hide behind.
Yeah, there are 2 things to hide behind: my shield and your shield.
How
Now that, just let me add one more thing. Now that the darkness trap spell has been disassembled, dislocated like fingers, when you look back, you can actually see outside at the very last bit of orange in the sky before the sun is completely gone.
Can
So
I
you
cast?
can see out.
Sorry, can I cast prestidigitation?
Prestidigitation.
Yes, because it says if you cast a spell without touching an item, I'm skipping the other part. You can instead create a minor illusion no bigger than yourself. Prestidigitation illusions are crude and clearly illusions. They won't fool anyone, but they might entertain them. But since they're mindless zombies, and I kind of want to make it like a wall to mimic the walls that are around us, thought we could maybe try to hide behind it.
I could see you using it as an attempt at camouflage, like pretending you're a wall.
Yeah.
I could see that.
With just you.
Well, you guys
Unless
can stand
everybody
behind
like
me.
stacks behind the
Yeah,
wizard.
but it's only as big as you, right? So it's kind of
Yeah.
small.
No bigger than myself is what it says.
Yeah.
It's like
That's about the mass you can create, right?
I'm just
So
imagining
you're welcome
like
to try it. I'm happy to let you make another roll because you're the one that drew this attention to begin with.
I would like to do that if I could.
All right, we'll just let Randy compound everybody's danger. This is cool.
Yeah, let's go.
We are going to,
Seven.
There it is.
we are going to nearly fail to cast prestidigitation.
That was close.
Are you going to do the same thing again?
I'll forget prestidigitation. I can't say it anyway.
You're not allowed to cast any spell you cannot pronounce. The all right, so
Prestidigitation.
make sure you keep that in mind because until you prepare spells again, it will be uncastable. Okay, so when you do that, everybody else can see what happened, but who knows? Maybe it could be enough to fool a zombie. As the footsteps draw closer, you do see right at the edge, and again, I'll say Manfred probably being the most vigilant at this point because he has been, we'll just see the shadowy shapes of more goblins, most likely zombie goblins with some form of serpent stick kind of marching and pounding the stick as they march. It's a very rhythmic thing, which isn't normal for zombies.
Yeah.
And
I
they're
wanna get
not
to the-
in a rush, but they do seem to be focused on the fake wall.
I want to move myself close to like the entryway,
Okay.
so I'm kind of like in the light from the sun still, so they could kind of see me. I want to draw their attention to me, so
Yeah,
like
you would
because-
definitely be a
so
silhouette.
Randy could
with
be
the-
behind them. You know.
You would be a clear silhouette in that entrance. The only way that it really works overall is the idea is if everybody else kind of moves to the side though, because
Yeah.
remember this is only about 5 foot wide tunnel.
Oh
So
yeah,
it's
yeah.
not-
Okay, gotcha.
Yeah, that you can't really like group up and do something. But if people move so that you can be seen, you could definitely do that. The zombies aren't in any big rush. So if you want to make a quick plan, you could definitely do that if your party members are in agreement.
Yeah, if they want to like attack from the sides, as I'm out in the open, kind of thing.
I'm flat up against the wall, you know.
You're like, scoot. And we're like, okay. The shiny wall moves a little bit. With the
So
question
in
marks dangling out of it.
In this case, what I would say then is anybody who's going to try and essentially hide right there, pretty much in plain sight, that's definitely going to be defying some danger. So we would kick off it would trigger the defy danger move, and you would tell me how you're trying to hide, whatever it may be, so we can pick a stat, an ability that we can roll against. So if you want to try that for Duke, again, the danger is you got zombie goblins with spears coming at you.
Yep.
And you're going to try and not have them, notice you or kill you. That's kind of important. So how would you go about that?
I get as close. I make myself as small as possible up against the side of the wall, like kind of like a Spider-Man crouch, and I right behind Pat. So right behind this illusory wall, that I'm as small as possible as I can.
Now I'm going to try and see if I can link these things together. So I know, Chris, you had said for Manfred, he wanted to draw attention. So it sounds like we could use the two of those together, that you might defy the danger, and by Duke hiding, he could aid, or
Oh yeah.
Duke could be defying the danger and you could aid by trying to distract them. And then we can use the same thing for the others. So we already know that Pat was trying to hide behind a fake wall, or create a fake wall to hide behind. So that could also be used as like an aid. And then I don't know what Jay's had in mind. Eli, what do you think?
For the defy danger roll itself, I'm kind of stuck between two places.
Okay.
I do want to go out of the entryway, let these presumably undead come through and go with Manfred's plan. Just all right, I'll get all their attention. Y'all just whack them from the sides.
Yeah.
But I also kind of really like the image of Jay's taking his flail, smacking it against the wall to carve out just enough of an alcove for him to sidle up in behind his shield.
Okay.
To validate using strength for the defy danger roll.
Yeah, I like that one.
Yeah, and I was going to say I like either one. I would only have you defy danger if you're doing the second. The first one would really be you would be aiding Manfred in causing the distraction because you're going to move out of his way, so you're really helping him in that case. So it's up to you. It'll be a defy danger if you want to carve out a little spot very quickly with a very big flail in a small place.
Yeah, you know what? Yeah, I'm going for it. I'm going for that defy danger.
Okay. So we have that one. And then is Pat doing anything other than hiding behind his illusion?
With quick thinking, can I go ahead and try to, with the sound of rocks falling behind me because someone dug out a hole, can I make like the shape of the wall that I made kind of shrink down a bit, like a kind of like a rock kind of shape while I duck down smaller? So just trying to get some.
I was going to have you do intelligence anyway, but because I was going to take that from the spell casting, right? Because you're going to use the spell as part of it. So I wanted you to roll intelligence anyway. So that works. And I think that's reasonable. And remember, all of this is going to happen, I'd say, within 10 seconds. From the first time Manfred heard the goblins, it's probably going to be about 15 seconds to the time that we resolve all of these. But he heard them, and then he saw them, and then all of you are like, I'm going to do this. I'm going to do this. I'm going to do this. Okay, let's do it. And bam, all this is happening right away. The one I want to do first, because I think it's the one that feels like it's going to take the longest time, is let's let Jays beat the crap out of the wall. Let's do that defy danger with strength and see how that works out.
Oh,
it's just all question marks. That didn't work.
Is it okay? It's marked as hidden. I've not used this roller since it's been implemented.
You experimented, didn't you?
Oops.
Okay.
I don't know what you did.
What is going on?
Undo.
Undo.
So to the left of where it says hidden roll, you just want to hit roll. It's like a really big button.
Okay. Yeah, my thinking was that was a setting that I needed to turn on or off.
Yeah. That's why when I clicked it and it just rolled, I was like, uh-oh.
Yeah, you just want to hit the like that. Oh
there
my gosh.
Yeah.
Okay.
Right.
Destroy the wall.
Here's how it's going to work, because this is such a success. I'm still going to get a roll from Randy because the illusion isn't great. But for Chris, they're definitely going to pay attention to you in this case. For Manfred, he's going to get what he wanted. Now with this, the flail, your expertise with the flail has just made it so you can work very well, even in tight places with it. Otherwise, you would probably have, a more efficient, smaller weapon. But
the only more versatile tool I could possibly have would be a shovel.
There you go. So you hit the wall hard enough. The strength of your expertise with the flail as well as the weapon itself almost easily knocks bits of the wall down, and it is volcanic rock, so some of it is a little bit soft, some of it's a little harder, but you're just bam bam. Each second takes just so much more off of the wall that within 5 seconds you've got enough spot that you can do what you had said. You can kind of push yourself into an alcove and pull your shield up in front of you, and as that happens, Duke, the commotion on the other side of the tunnel just makes it so you feel like you instantly blended into the wall.
Okay.
It was just so easy because of the commotion that Jay's brought up there. But I am, like I said, for Pat, I am going to want that defy danger with intelligence roll for Pat. And it really is just because the illusion, it says right on it under prestidigitation, it's not going to fool anyone, but maybe So that's why I
Maybe.
want to make sure that we take into account that the spell isn't guaranteed successful.
Okie dokie. Let's give
So let's
it a go.
ahead and make that happen.
How about 12?
Yeah, there we go. So very, very successful. I think the way it worked out is because you were able to crouch, you could wrap the illusion around you. The size of the illusion was able to wrap around you. And if it hadn't been able to do that, then it probably wouldn't have worked. But you figured that part out. So now we've got that scenario. All right, the goblins, think of the camera shifting back and forth. You're watching a bead of sweat pour down Jay's face as the beating the crap out of the wall. And you see the camera and the goblins take one big step forward, and then you switch back, and Duke is just melding like Schwarzenegger in the mud in Terminator. He's just not Terminator, Predator. He's melded right into the side of the wall, like he's not even there. Pat's got the illusion wrapped around, and then we end with the goblins right up to the spot where those guys are, with Manfred in the silhouette at the entrance of the tunnel for the volcano. And Manfred, I'd like to see what do you do first? What triggers everybody else? Because it sounds like you're in the lead on the attack.
Yeah, at first I want to like raise my shield and sword and yell at the goblins, "Come find your truth, come find your doom," and I just run in on them.
Nice. And now somebody at least had said they would attack from the sides while Manfred attacked from the entrance.
Mhm.
So that's where I was like, you kick that off. Is that everybody else's cue to just like jump in at this point?
Pounce. Yeah,
Are they coming single file? Or are they
Yeah, they have to as well.
single file?
Now, technically, they're slightly smaller, so they could fit side by side, but they're also clumsy zombies. So,
well, then I because I'm unnoticeable, I stick my leg out on the trailing zombie or goblin, undead
zombie
goblin,
Gombi.
To trip him.
Zoblin.
So I
Gombi.
trip one of them.
Okay. Now, when you say trailing, I'm going to tell you, as they get close enough, you can see that it is a line of 6.
Oh, okay. I thought there was only 2.
Yeah, and here, that's what I was going to say. As I establish this, let's just make sure I know I've given you the whole picture. So, as we had that lead up where everything was happening, essentially every time the camera cuts back to the goblins, like another one comes out of the darkness, and then another one, until it's a line of 6 that is within the light. And this is the one piece that's still a little off, and where I don't know yet if I'm going to use a failure or not. But you had light here, but they couldn't see anything except for the silhouette of Manfred in the entry.
But either way, I'm still going to try and trip the last one.
Okay. And because you're already in that state, it works. The last one falls, and it will immediately start to trying to get back to his feet, but not paying attention to what happened, just that it was down and now it wants to get back up. So as that trip happens, the other ones were going by, which is prime time for Jace to, come out of the wall, or Pat to come out of his illusion. How do you guys want to play it? Because Manfred's going to be there next. Like the next thing that happens. It starts with the last zombie just starting to fall over. And then we have Pat and Jays starting to act as Manfred is already charging in, and he'll be there momentarily.
I have a big stick. I used the big stick.
Used a big stick. Pick a zombie. 1, 2, 3, 4, or 5, because the 6th one is falling to the ground.
Because my weapon has forceful, I want to hit number 5 into number 4.
Okay. So you want to kind of knock them towards the entrance where Manfred is.
Yes.
Okay.
This is why I chose
a hack and slash.
This is why I picked the huge weapon.
Nice.
He can swish where this is still with my strength. Yeah, because this isn't a precise
hack and slash
weapon.
is always strength.
A 9. Oy.
9. So close. I think it's really just the close quarters. You're trying to get to maneuver around, and maybe while you're sitting there waiting for 1 through 3 to pass, and you want to hit 4 and 5. Just the anticipation of the whole deal maybe causes your aim to be slightly off, and when you swing, one of the the hazards, of course, of it being small, and now you know that the wall is I don't know, susceptible to the flail, if you will. When you swing, you hit the goblins, so you get what you're looking for. You're going to hit the fifth goblin into the fourth goblin. It's going to kind of push those forward. But when that happens, you also hit the wall, and shrapnel from the wall comes out at you. So the wall kind of explodes at you. So what I want you to do first is roll your damage. Oh my gosh.
Ouch, 10.
That's a 10. Now, does the flail have a plus for damage on it?
Its flail is +1.
Okay, so you do 11. And with that 11, what I want you to do is roll a d4, and that's the damage that you are going to take from the wall.
Ooh.
3. What do you have for armor? You should have something.
For armor, I have 2. My chainmail is 1, and my shield is 1.
All right. So then you'll have 2 armor because you're using the shield.
Yeah.
So you'll take 1 damage.
Ouchie.
That happens right in front of you, Pat. What's Pat up to?
So Pat is going to mold the shell he has around him, because he doesn't have a staff anymore, into what looks like a badass demonic looking bow and arrow. And he's going to pull it back and cast magic missile and fire at number 2.
I like it.
Because the illusion doesn't fool anybody, I'm imagining that it's like a child's crayon rendering of a cool demonic bow.
It's like it's a cool demonic bow, but it's like a Nerf bow in bright orange. Nobody believes it's
I
real.
can make the illusion any color I want.
Bright orange crayon, because I like the crayon drawing. Yeah.
It's got a boxing glove on the end of the arrow.
Yeah. So let's go with that. Cast a spell for the magic missile.
Let's go. All right. So that looked funny. That's an 8.
8.
So I'm going to succeed in my damage towards it, but being ranged, that's unwanted attention is what I'm going to go for. So
that'll be fun. Okay. So go ahead with your damage. Now, remember we got number 6 that was just tripped, fell to the ground. Then we got number 5. Oh, you know what? I completely forgot to ask you, Eli, what happens when you like completely demolish a zombie goblin with your flail? So be ready for that in a moment. But that, whatever that is that Eli is about to describe, gets pushed into number 4, and they go, the pretty much the whole line gets pushed with the huge force of the flail is getting pushed towards where Manfred is. So when Pat does this, is it to one of these 3 that were already kind of involved, or is it to one of the first 3?
I know that Manfred had already got hit once, so I was going to try to knock some damage into, or try to kill one of the ones going after him.
So the very first one is the first one that Manfred will encounter. So if that's what you're looking for, let's go for number 1.
Going for number 2 is what I said, but I mean,
okay.
But
I'll just go with what I said. We hadn't done it yet.
We'll do number 2. So
okay. And
I want to kind of draw his attention away if I can.
What is the damage of the magic missile?
It was a 5. The outcome was 5.
Okay.
Yeah.
So the 5 damage will take care of that goblin. Now, Eli, if you would, tell me, this is going to be the first nasty kill with the flail. What does that look like?
Okay, so firstly, it should have actually been 12 damage because my flail has hooks and spikes and huge.
Nice.
No.
Well, messy would be part of that.
Huge adds messy and forceful. So the goblin number 5 just kind of explodes, I guess, and then the follow through of the base or the flail head like slams into 4. But disregard what I initially said. I do not have hooks and spikes. I have versatile because that allows me reach. It is a long stick. It is a big stick with a flaily bit.
So that happens. The second one gets hit with that magic missile, and now Manfred, even though he's been running in slow motion, you've been doing Baywatch for like the last minute, but
looking good.
Exactly. So you however, in reality, all of these things are happening within a few seconds of each other. And as this calamity happens from the back of the line of goblins, we shift that camera from the second one to the first one, and right over the goblin's shoulder, you see Manfred approaching with the shield and sword raised.
Yeah.
With that.
I kind of want to do like since kind of like the line got pushed forward, I would kind of just want to like stab, like just a thrust to skewer the group if I could kind of line
Let's
them
see
up
how it
like,
goes. Definitely a hack and slash roll.
See how it goes. Well, 7. Not as fancy as I was hoping.
7. So the way it shapes up, I think it's easy enough to say you can skewer the first two. If you let me choose the negative for the hack and slash.
Sure.
All right. So you're going to skewer them. And what we'll say is you're going to kill the first one.
Okay.
But the second one gets stuck on your sword. And you're probably going to need some help getting this guy off here because of the way they just kind of linked together. When you stabbed through, after it went through him, it like hit the wooden spear from the third one, and your sword stuck in the spear, so you can't just pull it right back through. You got it just kind of stuck there. With that, let me reset our picture here. We now have at the back of the line where we're going to pick up next, we have Duke over the guy that he just tripped, and I think is about to, coup de grace there. But right after that, we've got the mess of the fifth one just kind of covering the fourth one, and they're down on the ground. The third one is now at his spear pulled out of his hand. It's stuck on the end of Manfred's sword. And after the magic missile went off, the light returns back to the candlelight level and the light spell level. And Pat can see the remnants of the magic missile kind of still crackling around the second one. So for Duke, we look back, and now Duke is just standing over the goblin number 6, the one in the back of the line. What's he doing?
I'm just about to just stab him right through the back of the neck.
Done. What's right after that? So you stab him almost like an afterthought. He's down, and right up in front of you, you see the rest of that kind of carnage in front of you. And remember, it's kind of a close quarters, but since, we presume the characters are cooperating with each other, if you need to hit something, you can kind of sneak by somebody really quick to do it, but you would have to.
So there's only the third one still standing, just with no
the second one is alive, but although there's a sword through it, it's not dead yet because, well, it's a zombie. The first one died, though.
I'm gonna actually throw my throwing knife at the back of the third one.
Okay. Let's go with a volley because that's you're taking aim and shooting an enemy at range.
All right. I need to
shooting a throwing knife, but yeah. So that is roll plus dexterity.
13.
Yeah, you just barely hit.
Yes,
so close.
Just above its AC.
So we won't bother with damage. We just want to know, what does it look like when a throwing knife kills a zombie?
It goes straight through him. Again, through the back of the neck.
Okay, cool. So practically severing the head.
Yes.
Okay.
Or at the very least, a nearly headless kind of situation.
So, yes, he's got the, gosh, I keep thinking I think it was a Crest commercial. He got a flip top head. It's like the whole head can just flip right back. And that happens, and it kind of just flops over to the ground. Because we went to Jay's last time. Do you have something, Eli? Do you want that you already know you want to do, or do you want to see how this plays out?
There is something that I would like to do.
Sure, go for
it. The throwing knife that just went through the goblin zombie.
Yeah.
I would like to retrieve it and hand it back to Duke. You dropped this?
Oh, sweet. You got it.
Making up for earlier. Thank you.
No, I would say between Pat and Manfred, kind of any cleanup here, anything you guys want to do. There's still technically one that's alive, but it poses no threat to you guys. So you can just say, I kill it, or whatever you want to do there. But how do you want to handle the rest of the scene?
You don't deserve to live in that thing's body. Manfred, finish it off, please.
I want to burn the pile up. I want to make a pile of bodies outside and burn it like a funeral pyre.
That one's easy enough. Yeah. Because they don't weigh all that much since a lot of the liquid's going from their bodies. And they are goblins to begin with. So they're in this world, at least, goblins reach a maximum of like 5.5 feet tall, including some pointy ears. So they're not particularly large. Easy enough. Yeah, you drag them outside, you burn them. Just like the others, you don't find anything odd about the bodies. All right. And if anybody wants to do any more than that, of course, let me know. But just letting you know that the look of them, how they died, what have you, it matches like the first two ones that you saw outside. So they don't look any real different from that. It definitely looks like zombie army material. They're very uniform without, well, uniforms.
I'm gonna high five Jays because I've never seen somebody freak out so much and just absolutely destroy a complete stone wall in seconds.
And
Does that
then
hurt your-
seconds later, explode a goblin.
Mhm.
Does that
Like-
hurt your hand, by the way?
Yes, it does.
No.
And I was gonna say my mangled hand from the stick of explosion and everything.
Mhm.
My pinky's still dislocated.
Ha!
So like you never snap that one back.
It just made me like, ow, my pinky.
I'm just like
Oh, did I miss one? I'm
arthritis,
sorry.
I don't know.
Here, and I'll snap it back into place, and then I'll bring out my water skin of slush. And
Yeah.
just grab onto this, and it'll help with the pain.
Yeah,
It definitely will help with the swelling. Yeah.
my character has a newfound respect for Chase because that was the craziest thing he's ever seen.
That's
I am the fighter.
that was almost the epitome of what we talked about earlier. The walk softly and carry a big stick thing. Yeah.
Yep.
Okay. Pat, now that stuff's been burned, or those things have been burned, what else is up Pat's sleeve at this time?
Well, before the whole collect the bodies and burn them thing, Pat goes and does a little flourish with his prestidigitation, and it turns into a little
You
bird
forgot
thing and
that.
flies away.
You forgot that?
No, it was already precast, so I was still holding on to it.
Oh, all right.
Yeah,
I get
so
what you're saying now. You're
he was just playing-
using the same illusion.
He was
all right.
playing around with it, so it turns into a little bird, and then flies and turns into dust. Anyway, then we collect
Nobody
the goblins,
believed it was
burn
a
them.
bird, though.
No, nobody at all. And
It was
Snape tried to
actually
eat
a
it.
flying lizard.
Pat.
Yeah.
Snape tried to eat it.
Yeah. There you go.
Snape, do you have you been here before?
It forms into a check mark.
Are we going the right way to the necromancer?
Bounces as the check mark.
I thought so. All right. If you guys are ready, I'm ready to go further into this hellish landscape.
Okay. And I will put shield in front of me, lay my extended flail
jousting.
onto it. Yep.
Yeah.
And just carefully walk forward.
How are you all
Tap on the
feeling,
ground
by the
with
way?
the chain. I feel fine. Thank you for asking.
Only
right,
a
so
small amount of damage.
Let me know if you need anything, because
I walk over to Manfred. I'm like, you're so quiet, buddy. you gotta lighten up a little bit. The truth is
The truth is
great.
all that matters. The truth
Yeah,
conquers all.
You
That's
did
not
just
true, Manfred. You matter.
you did just shish kebab.
Well, then I am the truth.
You can show some excitement about
yes,
this.
Let's go
flying
get this
knife
Thomas
strike
then.
again.
Let's go get this Thomas.
Yes, so let's confront Thomas. Hopefully, not too many more waves of these things.
The spot where Duke had fisted the wall in order to turn the trap off.
Jeez.
What he put his fist in the wall.
Yeah.
Hold on, what were you thinking?
Right to the elbow. Wait, did you go to the shoulder?
way in
Ah, jeez.
So that spot, now that the trap has been dissolved, you guys notice that spot now just kind of melds back into the wall too. So it's now it just looks like regular wall, like it was a temporary magical trap. So that whole thing is gone now. By the time you get the fire going, the goblins defeated and burned. The sun is officially set, so it's just about as dark outside as it is inside. So you want to keep the light going. But the tunnel, except for the spot that Jay's beat up, it still looks the same, right? So nothing else has changed, just the trap stuff is gone.
Hmm.
When you go back in, you can follow further. The tunnel just gradually starts going down. It takes, let's say maybe 50 feet or so, and that's farther than you had first gotten. Then it just starts to gradually go down. You can feel that, where your toes have to point down and you're leaning back a little to keep your balance. It's just enough of an incline like that. And it goes down, and you start to feel the convection, the warm air coming up from below. So you're getting closer towards something that is actually more volcano and not just tunnel into the side of the mountain. It does split. As you get almost maybe 100 feet in, you've now gone 50 feet kind of straight forward, and then 50 feet at a slight incline or decline. Then the tunnel reaches a T-junction, and it goes straight right or straight left. And at the end of either, it's darkness at the edge of the light. So you can't see any more than, say, about 30 feet down there.
So I kind of tap Pot. Pot.
Hey,
What
Yes.
does your nose smell?
Ooh.
Hmm.
What does your elf nose smell? Pot.
So I'll walk about 5 feet into the left tunnel and take a big whiff with my detect magic.
And also, Zeb, make sure you keep in mind you still have that one hold for the trap expert. So at any time you can use one of those questions.
I'll let Pot finish his thought, and then I'll do it.
But let's do another cast a spell.
Yay!
Now
That's
let's before
7.
before we resolve it. Do you want to go down a specific hallway before casting it, or are you standing at the intersection and just kind of?
I started
in general?
at the left one, and I went about 5 feet into it, just to give her
I just want to make sure I'm directing it in where it needs to go.
a concentrated whiff.
On the left side,
Sniff.
you definitely, using your sense of smell, you are unable to detect any magic down there. Now, I do want to ask too, for the cast a spell with a 7, you have to choose one of the options from the list.
Unwanted attention.
Okay.
I'm
Hey,
gonna
you
get
have a really nice butt. I mean,
why?
He said,
Thank you.
he said
Jace.
unwanted.
I see.
Wink.
Snape.
The
Don't look at my Snape without my permission.
as Pat is gone to that tunnel and starts sniffing, on the other side you hear what sounds like a skittering. Other people, not Pat. Pat doesn't notice this. Pat's busy sniffing down the other tunnel, and those that stood kind of at the intersection or even are looking towards the other direction, you hear in the darkness skittering, definitely sounding like, think big insect kind of skitter.
I guess now is a good time for me to see if there's any traps.
All right. What question
This suddenly
out
feels
of
like
the-
a dangerous place.
Yeah, this whole area is going to be considered a dangerous area for sure.
I don't smell anything. I'm coming back to you guys.
I'm just gonna ask if there is a trap here. What activates it?
It appears that there is a trap, and the trap looks like there's a pressure plate on the floor, and it would release something from above.
Above us or above
Yeah.
the?
Well, above the tunnel. So wherever that pressure plate is, a little bit, let's call it maybe 10 feet down that hall, we're able to see because of the light. You can see a pressure plate, and that pressure plate looks like it would release, release a trap door in the roof of the tunnel you're in.
And that's the same direction that the insect sounds are coming from.
Yes.
Okay, I'm gonna hold everybody back. I'm gonna like wait, and we're gonna wait to see, because if I can see that where the pressure plate is, then I'm assuming that I'll be able to see when something gets close to it.
Oh, so you do notice after a few seconds, it sounds now like those the skittering sounds are coming from above the tunnel. Like that might be what's released if that pressure plate is stepped on.
What's the matter, Duke?
Okay. Well, then
Talk to me, Duke.
yeah, I'm gonna tell everybody, like, you see that right there in the middle? Don't step on it.
What if I poke it?
You can, but like I did highly advise against it.
Okay.
I suggest that we turn the other direction.
Where there's definitely no magic.
Where there's no smell of magic.
Yes.
What about this way, Pot? Smell down here.
How far should I walk? 5 feet didn't work the last time. Should I double it?
Whatever
Jay,
you
don't
keep
wanna
you
go
away from the
10.
pressure plate.
Do you see that pressure plate right before it?
Whatever you do.
Here, hold on to one end of the stick so if something happens, I can pull you back.
I walked 9 feet and 11 inches forward. No.
I'll hold his hand. And
You have such rough bandaged hands, Duke. Hams.
Your hams are real rough.
Canned
It is.
hams.
There's the unwanted attention.
Yes.
and my nickname is Honey Glaze because I got these sticky fingers.
Here goes. That's not my hand.
That's pretty good.
Oh, my bad.
Let's detect some magic again, Pat.
Let's go.
Yeah. Cast a spell.
Gotta get better at this. 9. More unwanted
9.
attention.
All right. Right now, I can't think of anything more unwanted than the end of the episode dropping us.
Oh, we definitely didn't want that.
Oh,
Jesus, just snuck up on you.
Yeah,
that's what you get, man.
the mandibles of
However,
the end
Pretty
came
good.
at us.
that's
Pretty
not
good.
what you smelled. What you smelled will be revealed in the next episode.
Ooh.
Dun, dun, dun.
Sneaky
That's cool
cliffhangers.
though. Yeah, I wanted to kind of make sure that we had puzzles and traps. I actually wanted to see the thief working here, but at the same time, I also wanted to make sure, like I was mentioning for you, Randy, that with ritual, you can kind of make up almost anything you want as long as you got a decent idea.
Right on.
And then anybody can come up with any idea, so it's all cool.
First time wizard here, so usually don't
Yeah,
play
it works.
spellcasters. So.
I carved
Definitely
my
works.
wall with a ball.
Hey, Pot.
Anyone want to add anything before we wrap this one up?
I will say that I feel like my bonds are resolved.
You
Yeah, I
know,
gotta come
Dan,
with some new
thank you, Zeb, for that. We are going to go through the end of session every time, so let me get to that now. And this is the one that I do all the reading. So when we reach the end of the session, choose one of your bonds that you think might be completely resolved or no longer applicable or otherwise. And this is for each person.
I'm going to go ahead and say that the thing I stole has been resolved.
You know, I would agree with that. Chris, do you agree with that? The whole
Yep.
family heirloom thing that's been resolved now? Okay.
Yep.
So for Duke, mark 1 experience for that one.
I'm gonna break his other hand though. Like he did the first time.
There's Manfred's new bond. Who else does anybody else have a bond that they feel has been resolved?
Yeah, I thought for Jay's brave soul,
Oh, really?
learn a lot from kind of thing, because he kind of pushed, even though he like comes off as he's scared, he kept pushed. I'm gonna stick my hand in there. I'm gonna do this. He kept on going.
I mean, nobody was asking the real questions. We're trying to learn about it, but what's it going to do to us?
Yeah, whatever. It was very brave of you to just do it, I think is what he's saying. Yeah. And if that works for y'all, then yeah, go ahead and mark an experience.
I see it.
Cool.
I do feel like my original bond with Duke is resolved. Duke stole the last piece of pie I wanted to buy. I will see him suffer for it.
We definitely saw Duke suffer a bit. And with the
saw.
pie, you rubbed it on his face. He had to rub it on his arm. Yeah, I would call that. That's an experience there. Let's mark that one
Ears
off.
were dislocated.
Yeah.
Jeez.
How about Pat? Did Pat have anything, Randy?
I don't really think so. I still don't know the secret yet that Manfred is hiding from me quite yet. And I don't think...
Forgot about that one.
I don't think that Duke has chosen to use less than just stealing stuff from people to go and get his way. He hasn't quite used his words just yet.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure at this point, Duke has just relied on theft to get by. So I would agree with that. Okay. The next one we're going to look at is alignment. the way that your alignment reads, do you feel your character did anything that fulfilled what the alignment states you should be doing? And Eli, for your benefit, I'll mention here, if you think something else would fit better, say you picked neutral and it says avoid detection or something like that. And I think that's what we have with the thief, right? But say you didn't want that. And for neutral as a thief, you would say, I will steal, but only if I give to somebody else, something that sounds neutral. If you write something like that, we'll play it for sure. So you don't have to stick with what's there, but if what's there works for you, we'll use that as well. That said, just to clarify again, did anybody feel like they did something that fit their alignment?
Yeah, mine was neutral, avoid detection.
Yeah, and you definitely avoided the detection within the tunnel when the zombies passed by. So that's an experience.
I'm not really quite sure I discovered something about a magical mystery this time around. The wall, I don't really know. Probably not. I didn't really discover facts about everyone else did. I just got rid of it. Partially.
I would buy that. If we had no other attempt at figuring out what the wall was, then your detect magic would have been the only thing, and that might have fit. But since it was a whole group effort, I'll agree with what you're saying. Yeah. Chris or Manfred, nothing on the alignment.
That it was not, right.
Say again, Randy. Sorry.
That it was not right.
Yeah.
Okay.
I'm going with what you were saying. That it probably wasn't enough to actually go that far. Yep.
Okay.
Yeah, mine's the deny mercy to a criminal or unbeliever, which I don't.
You don't have that. It hasn't happened yet. Yeah.
You were about to.
I feel like I was just killing goblins. They could be unbelievers, but I didn't deny mercy, right?
If they were alive, it would actually be different. If they were alive and evil, this would definitely be more different because they're now mindless automatons. Yeah. So, yeah, they don't have anything to be against. They just want to kill whoever isn't their master. Okay. Then from there, we're going to look at our 3 questions that we do every time. First one, did we learn something new and important about the world? What do you guys think?
I don't think so. This was a very...
Yeah, I don't know. We kind of already knew that the necromancer was in the volcano and that he had an army of zombie goblins. So
I'm going to go out on the limb here, and I'm going to say yes, because the new thing that we learned was that Jays exists. Jays didn't exist last session.
But Jays knew that Jays existed. Just kidding. Jays learned that we exist.
So I'm going to throw a fiat in there of a yes, because new and important about this world, Eli's character is definitely new to everybody, and it's in this world. So
I hope he's important too.
Yeah. The next one might be a little different. Did we overcome a notable monster or enemy?
Oh, I don't know. Notable? I don't know.
Not notable.
No. I'm going to agree with that. I see everyone shaking their head.
Had we come across something notable, then I would have gone with the point on alignment, because neutral for the fighter is defeat a worthy opponent.
Yeah.
Not obliterate a little baby zombie.
Yeah, not obliterate something that weighs less than 40 pounds.
Yeah. He just destroyed some zombies. He didn't really, face a notable enemy. Yeah. Okay.
I destroyed that Zoblin, and I hurt the Zoblin next to him.
And the last one is, did we loot a memorable treasure?
Family heirloom.
We looted Jay.
They did.
It's an interesting thought.
I was secured, although I do take umbrage with the idea that I am property.
And you are a treasure. You are a treasure.
All right, you're on thin ice.
We're going to go with a yes for that, because it means an experience point. And I think we might have with Chris. Did you end up getting 8?
Yeah, that would be 8. Yep.
All right, so Chris is going to be able to do the level up for our next session. And if anyone else got to 8, you'll be able to do the level up as well. And if you didn't, you'll almost definitely get it next time, because you're probably at 6 or 7.
6.
Yeah. So that's going to get us to next time. And Chris, we might open up with that next time. So when you do the level up, just keep track of what you picked, because we'll probably want to talk about that.
So,
but in the meantime, that gets us through our end of session, which again, I want to make sure we cover every time. just because I want to be true to the rules that when we actually have very few rules to follow, I at least want to pick those and make sure we're doing them. So for the end of session, we did that. We'll do that every time. The level up we'll do off air. Chris will do it, and then we'll talk about it when we join up again. But for now, we've got our party of 4 adventurers now starting to get deeper into the volcano under Smoky Top, and we'll be picking that up next time on Adventures from the Shed. For now, though, I think we're all going to say bye.
Bye-bye.
Adios.
Oh.
Let's see if this is the right button.
The preceding podcast was brought to you by One Joe Young. You can find us online at adventuresfromtheshed.com.
I like to watch Randy prepare, clears his throat, gets ready, and then solo.
For those of you who do not know what the song is that I had to do the ritual, a dee da dee do do dee da dee do.
I love that. That's from Robin Hood, the cartoon. All right. Bye.
It's a hamster dance.